So in cross legs, just have a little wiggle about. Feel that you're sitting evenly, perhaps move the buttock flesh out to the side just so that you're sitting as evenly as you can, and then hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Listen to the sound of the breath as it enters and as it exits. If you close your eyes for a moment, to take away the external stimulus, just focus on the sound of the breath as similarity to the sounds of the sea coming into the shore and retreating back into the sea. So imagine that you are sitting on a beach, and the sound of your breath is the sea as it creeps up onto the shore, and your out breath is the sound of the sea as it retreats back into the water. Feeling the sun on your skin, hearing the birds in the sky. Release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste. Just focus on filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, and emptying the lungs from the top to the bottom. As long as there are no heart conditions or high blood pressure or low blood pressure issues, then at the top of the in-breath, just gently hold the breath for a moment or two to absorb more of the oxygen within the breath. And then with an exhalation, draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area as you release your hands. Bring the palms onto the backs of the palms onto the knees, palms facing upwards, and then as you raise your head, just allow your eyes to softly open. So hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, take a deep inhalation in through the nose, and with the exhalation, turn to the right side. Just feel how the turn feels within your body today. Continue to fill the body with air on the in-breath and use the out-breath to intensify the turn, but be mindful of any resistance. Push your out-breath into areas of resistance. And then come back to the center, hold onto your knees. Lift up into the chest, take a deep inhalation, and with the exhalation, turn to the left. Again, just observing your resistance, if there is any, and pushing the out breath forcefully into areas of resistance. Filling the lungs with energy, using the out breath to disperse that energy into areas of resistance. And then come back to the center. Just stretch your legs out. Get a belt where you can reach it. Maybe just shuffle off your lift a little so that the backs of your thighs are away from the lift so that you can free the backs of the thighs. Get hold of the backs of the thighs from the big toe side and then rotate the backs of the thighs outwards to the little toe side. So there's this feeling of broadening at the back of the thighs. And then the kind of rebound effect of that is that the fronts of the legs will turn in. Grab your belt and then throw your belt around your feet. And then push your feet really firmly into the belt. Rotating the backs of the thighs consciously outwards so that the fronts of the thighs consciously rotate inwards. Push the feet into the belt. Hold onto the belt, pull the belt towards you, lift up into the chest. Feel that you can grow into the chest, into the spine. Take deep inhalations. Fill in not just the lungs, but the limbs, as though you're inflating the body like you're inflating a lilo. Breathe evenly and deeply listening to the sound of the breath. Inflating the limbs with the in-breath. Pushing the out-breath into any areas of resistance. Stay here if you have any back problems. If your back is okay, then just come forwards a little, just an inch or two. Just go back to the breath, inflating into the limbs. And then just a little bit at a time, come forwards with the out breath. If you can reach around your feet, then do, but Not at the expense of over bending the back. You've got to keep the back lifted, the front chest extended. Filling the limbs with air. And then just come back to the center, just come into cross legs again, and can just hold onto the knees, lift up into the chest. Just continuing to inflate the lungs, allowing the lungs to overflow into the limbs. So that you fill the body with lightness. We're going to do a little Brahmari pranayama. So remember, Brahmari, which we haven't done for a little while, is the hummed exhalation, and you hum the exhalation until you run out of breath. I'll just give you a little demonstration. And then when the sound kind of sharply stops, that is when your lungs are empty. And then just follow that with normal inhalations and then continual Brahmari exhalations. So just normal breathing for a moment. You can close your eyes, just feel that the inhalation fills the limbs, and try to maintain that as we work with our Brahmari. So normal inhalation, normal exhalation, normal inhalation, and then we will hum the exhalation. And one more. And then bring the breath back to a normal rhythm. Allow your eyes to gently open. Just continue to breathe into the limbs. And then just come off your lift come onto all fours and then up into dog down. So turn the toes under, activate the arms and the legs, bending the knees initially just to activate the shoulder blade region. And then straighten the legs. And then go back to the breath, not Brahmari breath, but where we're filling the limbs with air. We're drawing the out breath into areas of resistance. Rotating the backs of the thighs outwards so that the fronts of the thighs rotate inwards. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Just directing your in-breath towards areas that get tired. Out-breath towards areas of resistance. Just observe if there's evenness of action. The left side is working evenly with the right side and vice versa. If I'm holding you too long in the pose, then gently release, just come down into Adho Mukha Virasana, but if you can stay and maintain, then do. Okay, step your feet forwards, just come up into a standing position. Grab a couple of bricks for your hands for half Uttanasana. Align your feet precisely with the edge of the mat. Just lift up into the chest. Again, breathing into the limbs. Raise your arms with an in-breath. And go down on an in-breath. And then find the blocks beyond fingertips. Just working to continue to fill the lungs with air, but fill the limbs with air as well at the same time. Observe your activation, observe the evenness of activation, rotating the backs of the thighs outwards, the fronts of the thighs inwards, extending the chin and the chest away, lifting the seat bones away from the backs of the thighs, extending from the abdomen into the diaphragm, into the collarbone, into the chin. Drawing the back chest down, conveyor belt in the chest. Take a few Udanic breaths. That's breaths into the sinus region, breathing literally into the brain. If you go down lower, then do. Just incrementally moving towards the floor. Not being in a rush to get there. Udanic breathing into the sinuses. If you can reach down to the floor, then do. If you can reach around your ankles, drawing the body in, then do. If you can't, then just stay with the blocks or at whichever level feels right. Continue with the Udanic breath into the sinus region, flushing out the sinuses. Almost direct lining the oxygen to the brain. And then come back to half Uttanasana. And then walk your hands back to the far end of the mat. Bring your hands shoulder width apart, your feet hip width apart, and come back into dog down. If you need to rest, go down into Adho Mukha Virasana, but otherwise just stay in dog down. Breathe into the limbs. So that full body breath. Feeling the skin from the face to the feet. On your next inhalation, wherever that comes, keep the legs straight, come up into dog up. Swinging the hips forward, coming up into dog, up, pushing into the heels, lifting and opening the chest. Breathing continuously. full body breath. And go back up into dog down on an out breath. Feel how dog down transforms into something altogether lighter. And again, go into dog up on an out breath. Observe if there's any difference in your pose. Go up into dog down on an in breath. Just observing if that change in the breath brings anything different to the pose. Okay, and then just come down onto your knees, sit back on your heels. Continuing with full body breathing. Just sitting back on your heels, observing your energy, just feeling the legs adapting to the floor, adapting to Virasana. And then coming to Adho Mukha Virasana. Coming forward, pushing the hands into the floor, extending forwards. Maintaining that full body breath. Bringing the head down. Pressing the forehead firmly down into the floor. If your head doesn't reach the floor, or if you lose contact between the seat bones and the heels, to bring the head down, then put a block under your head. Press your forehead firmly into the floor, encouraging the head to stretch away from the hips, drawing the forehead skin down to gather at the eyebrow region. Continuing with the full body inhalations. Pushing the out breath into areas of resistance. Full body inhalations, drawing the out breath towards areas of resistance. Okay, bring your hands underneath the shoulders. And then just sit yourself back on your heels, just observe how your energy has changed. Okay, just sit yourself on the lift that we started off with and just bring the legs wide apart. So sitting on your lift, and then you're going to bring your right leg in, point in the toes, and then bring the top of the foot onto the floor so that the heel lines up directly with the belly button. So it's the beginning of Siddhasana. Then get the back of the other knee of the left foot, and then point in the toes, bring the top of the foot onto the floor, and then bring those heels together. The knees need to come down onto the floor, so you might have to just edge off your bolster, off your lift a little, so the knees can come down. So the heels are together, or they're in line with each other, and they're in line with the spine. So just hold onto your knees and just lift up into the chest a little. Again, just if you feel that you can't lift your spine from the bottom, then just adjust the cushion underneath you. So you can either stay in this version of Siddhasana, or you can post the toes of the front foot through the calf and the thigh muscle of the right leg, and then reach through, get hold of the big toe of that right foot, and then draw it through the calf muscle and the big toe, and then let go, but it should stay in position. So just adjust so the knees are reaching the floor, and then lift up into the chest. So just, you can close your eyes or keep your eyes open. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. As you inhale, observe how the chest rises upwards and outwards in synchronicity. And as you exhale, how the chest lowers and the intercostal muscles between the rib cage, between the ribs, relax. Just listen to the sound of the breath. Just observe the subtle sibilance of the inhalation and the exhalation. Filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Filling both lungs evenly. If you find that your mind wanders, then just allow that thought to drift away as easily as it drifted in. And then draw your attention back into the physical feelings of the breath. Drawing your attention back into the sensations of lightness within the limbs. Just draw your chin down to meet your chest for Jalandhara Bandha, and then raise Mula Bandha, raise the anal sphincter up to the diaphragm region for Mula Bandha. Just normal breathing, but just with observation of the physicality of the breath. In a moment, we're going to move into stage 2 of Ujjayi Pranayama, which is where we focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate exhalations until the lungs feel empty. Normal inhalations. So it's a slow, deep, and steady exhalation until the lungs are empty. And then a normal inhalation. So that inhalation rising from the bottom of the lungs to the top of the lungs, the exhalation from the top of the lungs to the bottom. So when you're ready, just take a normal exhalation, a normal inhalation, and then a slow, deep, steady exhalation until the lungs are empty, followed by normal inhalation, and then just cycling around that mode of breathing. Or you can make it intermittent with normal breathing in between. And then one final cycle. And then a normal in-breath, a normal out-breath. Release Mula Bandha, release Jalandhara Bandha. Raising your head. Just feel that lightness of energy. And then just release your legs. Just stretch your legs out for a moment. Just pushing into the heels, pulling the toes back, tightening the kneecaps, lifting up into the chest. Letting the legs refresh. And then when they've recovered, just sit yourself, just reset the seat bones, and then bring the legs wide, and then this time bring the left leg in first. Just feel how Siddhasana might still be in the feet and in the knees. So just work with respect for the limbs, bringing the heel in line with the belly button, with the rib cage, sorry, with the spine. So either staying at this stage or posting toes through the calf and thigh muscle. And then just readdressing your cushion that you're sitting on. Make sure that the knees are down on the floor, just raising your head. So we're going to do Ujjayi stage 3, which is slow, deep and steady inhalations until the sound of the breath stops. And then normal exhalations. So we fill the lungs fully. So we're working the lungs differently to how we breathe in normal unconscious breathing. So again, going to Jalandhara Bandha, chin on the chest, raising Mula Bandha, and then just normal breathing for a moment. And then a normal exhalation. And then slow, deep, steady inhalation until the lungs feel full and the sound of the breath stops, filling both lungs evenly from the bottom to the top, feeling the chest rising upwards and outwards with the inhalation. So it's the sound of the breath that we use as our gauge. Just normal exhalations. bring the breath back to a normal rhythm, just ending with a normal exhalation and then normal inhalations. Release Jalandhara Bandha, release Mula Bandha. Just observe the lightness of the limbs. And then just stretch your legs out again, just allowing the feet and the ankles and the knees to recover. And then come off your lift. Just come down onto the floor. Get hold of the sides of the mat like you want to tear it apart. Really grip the mat. Turn the crease of the elbows to face up to the ceiling. Pull your knees in towards your chest. Really activating those arms, and then raise your legs up to face the ceiling. Just full body inhalations into the limbs. And then release your legs. Just get your blanket if you can reach it. Bring the blanket underneath your head. Just come up onto your elbows for a moment. Make sure you're in a really good straight line along the floor, along the mat. Just move any equipment out of the way that might be a bit distracting, and just allow the body to release into the floor. Just normal inhalations, normal exhalations. Let go of the muscles of the arms and the legs, unhooking the muscles so that the body becomes heavy. Out of that heaviness comes a lightness radiating out from the bones into the muscles and the flesh and the skin. Just basking in that feeling of energetic lightness, using your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute it through the limbs and into the top of the head. Ready to disturb yourself, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. Bring yourself back into this pose of Shavasana. And then bend your knees in towards your chest. Just hold onto your knees, draw your knees in towards your chest, and have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. Just a gentle massage on the spine. Just bring yourself back into the room, feeling that grounding massage on the back. And then gently roll over onto your right side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then when you're ready, just stretch out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just into a final cross legs with your hands in Namaste, just a final spinal lift. Just drawing the breath in through the nose and down into the abdomen, the samanic breath. So that you become conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the breath work bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then radiate some of that positive energy out into the world. And then gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. And as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel as though you're really inflated your body with really good positive energy. Just bear in mind that after pranayama practice, your responses might be a little slower than usual, and for the next quarter of an hour or so. So if you need to jump into a cart, then just be cautious that your responses might be a bit slower than usual, or any vehicle, or just walking around the street. Okay, thank you very much for joining me.